All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen. I serve as the Associate Director in Student Involvement, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And today we are going to be talking about organization over procrastination as part of our virtual leadership series for this spring 2021 semester. So I am so excited to actually have one of our fellow students here with me today, Edward Hansford. He'll talk a little bit more about himself a little later, but I do want to welcome him and thank him for taking time out of his day to talk a little bit about this topic. So without further ado, here is Edward.
Hi guys, my name's Edward Hansford, as she said. I'm from small town there, Missouri, where the population is 2,000. So coming to St. Louis and St. Charles, it's a big jump to what I'm used to. I'm a freshman here at Lindenwood, and with being a freshman, I have also tackled a lot of leadership levels and different organizations. So for LSG, I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs. I'm the Secretary of Phi Delta Theta. I'm the social leader of the First Year Council. And last but not least, I'm the admin assistant for the School of Humanities here at Lindenwood. So as you can tell, I'm always busy with all of those titles. So organization is a huge part of keeping track of all of those things and keeping track of all of the events and school and stuff. So that's why I wanted to come and speak to the student body and to speak to you guys, because I have some tips that I've grown over the years that have helped me, and I'd love to show other people those tips. So to start out, I have a quote, which is, "Some people are naturally organized, but their habits, which they adopt to become organized, are not that difficult to learn." So I have some habits that you can use and some skills and some things that even a Lindenwood student can use that is free to them that I'd like to show you guys. When I was meeting with Karen last week, she told me that some people, until they got to college or until they got to grad school, didn't know what being organized and what procrastination was. So I went onto Google and I found those exact definitions. So to organize or having organization is to arrange into a structure, a whole, or to have order, or to make arrangements or preparations for an event, activity, to coordinate. So what does that mean? Where does that go? To have order or to coordinate, you have to have this in a busy life, such as a leader's. But to procrastinate means to not have this, the action of delaying or postponing something, to not have order, to not coordinate all of your things and put them in order, or to delay the tactics. So to go further, what is the importance of organization? Can you guys put in the chat real quick what that means? How is organization important to you guys? I'd love to see that before we go on, and that's even on my next slide, but I don't want to show that yet. I want to see what you guys think it is. Let me get to the chat. How is organization important to you? That is the first question. Okay, it keeps everything in order, and I feel like I have control when I'm organized. Being organized makes me feel less stressed, so you don't forget anything and so you don't forget anything and to do the most important things first. Wow, they just keep on coming in. Yeah, especially I think as an employee, it's important to be organized when working with students or campus partners so they know they can rely on me. These are all great. Being organized, especially as a leader or as an employee or as a student, is so important because you don't want to have procrastination sit on your shoulders. You don't want to fall back and get so far behind you can't catch up. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Organization is important because it allows individuals and groups to perform tasks more effectively. It helps people find information and items faster, and allows groups to work together without um, you know, too much time being taken up. Benefits of organization include easier to know when things are going to happen, your stress levels will go down, and you're able to schedule things at a better pace without using your memory for your planner. Okay, so now that I got why organization is important to us or to me, why do you think it's important to the groups that you guys are representing today? Why do you think we have to have this organization in those groups or in the clubs that you're in? If you can put that in the chat. And then we'll talk a little bit about that. And if you guys want to unmute, I don't know if you guys can't, you guys can talk about it too. It'd be great to hear your guys' voice.
I'd say especially when you're in upper leadership in groups, you don't want to forget anything and let your group down.
For sure. Yeah, forgetting things I still forget things, and I'd say I'm pretty organized. I keep things in my planner. I keep things written down in my calendars and stuff, but I still forget things, and it just feels like I let people down when I do. So I completely understand. Anyone else? It shows you're a strong leader. Yeah, when you can go to someone and say, our event is this time every week, and it's scheduled, it's already taken care of, you just have to show up. When all they have to do is show up, it shows that you're a strong leader because you've gotten everything set in specific places and you know how to go on from there. So one last question before we move on. What are some resources that you can use or some resources that you do use?
I definitely live by my planner. I would be lost without it.
Okay, planners, lists, notebooks, calendars, alarms, planner, Outlook calendar. Okay, good. It's good to see all of these things in here. A physical planner, also calendar on my phone with important events. Yeah, I'm going to show you my calendar on my phone before, because I don't have it on here. So I'm not going to go through each one, but if you can see the dots on the calendar, that's when I have at least 3 events, and that's every day of the week. I have to have it in here or I forget, or at least somewhere written down. And that takes us to the next section of this PowerPoint. I feel like I'm flying through because I speak fast. If I go through anything too fast, just tell me to slow down. I promise I will. Okay. No method is perfect for everyone. They all show different benefits and downfalls. The key is to getting one that works and to have consistency. So if you have a planner, use it. Don't just get it for 1 month, write in all your January stuff and then throw it away or just leave it on a shelf. Write things down, keep that consistency, build those habits, because that's just hurting you if you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then it's just like a New Year's resolution and it just gets set on a bookshelf. Actually open it, actually write things down. And I want to show you guys some resources that you can use to help. So planning, keeping a list or just writing down things would be one way to avoid. So walk the dog. Okay, now I'm going to make lunch. Now I'm going to do 2 paragraphs of my my resource paper. Yeah, and then when students do this, they see that that's all they need to do, and having it put somewhere instead of in their heads allows them to allocate these tasks. And it kind of looks like this for me, writing them down and having them on a paper so I don't forget, because my mind's everywhere all the time. So just having it somewhere, but after you have it somewhere, you have to put it into a different place, and that's scheduling. So when am I going to walk the dog? Where am I going to write the paper? How am I going to get this done? Who am I going to get it done with? Having these, I can't see my slide for a second. 1 second. Okay. This skill is used to help put tasks from the previous skill, so planning, into a time frame. Once writing them down, allotting them to different times, it will help the day flow much better. Having a schedule and keeping that schedule will form a habit. So the habits that I was talking about earlier, continually using these, continually putting them in those planners, putting them in the calendar, and using this as a habit. When getting the bad habits of procrastination out, this habit will fill that place. So I know that there are non-time targeted tasks, but until you put a time on it, it's going to stay that way. Until there's a time set, it's more of a goal and not an action. So if you have a task of, in 3 weeks, I have to turn in my paper, continue making little tasks of, so today I'm going to work on my introduction and conclusion. Tomorrow I'm going to work on 2 of my body paragraphs. Make them into time targeted tasks to get it done. And like I was using at the beginning of the slide, when we learned this in high school, who, when, what, how, these are question words. So when having that organization, use these, actively use question words. Who's going to be with me? When am I going to do it? What actually is the task that I'm going to be doing? And how am I going to get it done? So before moving on, I want to ask another question, and you guys can answer with your voice and unmute, or you can put it in the chat. How do you think planning and scheduling has, if you've done it, how do you think that it has bettered your student career, your college career? How has it progressed you into staying organized and beating that procrastination that you've had?
I think planning has done a lot for me, especially this year and last year. I really got into like writing the assignments down. I found that when I like stopped doing it, I started like not necessarily missing deadlines, but like doing things at the very last minute and being even more stressed out.
Mhm.
I'm still working on the scheduling aspect of it because I'm pretty planned out. I just don't always like make time to do things. Like I say I'm gonna do it on this day, but then I don't do it on that day.
Yeah, and that's procrastination, and once it gets in there, it doesn't like to get its way out. So in high school, I watched a TED talk, and it said that people with procrastination have an instant gratification monkey in their head sailing them through life, and you should be doing this really long, drawn out task, but why not watch a TikTok? It's only 1 minute, and then it turns into 2 minutes, and then it turns into 4 hours, and then it's 11:59 and your assignment's not turned in. And that's when the panic monster comes in, and it's like, oh no, where did the time go? I was gonna do this and then I forgot, and now it's gonna be late because I procrastinated and didn't have my time allotted for this. Okay, so let's go to the next part, which is someday is not the day of the week. If you can put a time to it, if you can put, I'm gonna do this on Monday, do that. Because if you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it Sunday or someday, I can get to it, then you're not really helping anyone. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping the organizations that you are in, and you're not helping, the planner people that make these planners for you to help, or for you to stay organized. I mean, I guess you're helping them make funds, but help yourself with the stuff that you buy, because I mean, I don't want to say there's no point in procrastinating, because I understand I am also a procrastinator sometimes, but having organization just takes the stress away of having all this time that I've just been sitting in my room taking a nap, or again on TikTok, because that is a big thing that a lot of college students do, because they're only a minute long. Why not watch them? So these, I wanted to point out what you can use free of charge as a Lindenwood student, because the university gives so many things that you can do as a Lindenwood student, such as Canvas, Outlook, and Office 365. These are all 3 things that I personally look at every day for class, or as an LSG exec. I am always on these, and I mean, if I have it written down somewhere, it's more likely that I'm going to do it instead of just keeping it in my head. So to start out, if you go to the calendar part on Canvas, you don't have to do it right now, but just looking at it, there's this thing called agenda. So I cut it off, but up here it says calendar day agenda, I'm pretty sure, and it puts it into a scheduled list, like I was talking about with planning. So with planning, you just write it down. So right here is just writing it down, and then scheduling, putting a day to it. So right here is putting the days to the things, and you can actually add your own. So if we come over here and you see this, they make your own, so you can add your own things to Canvas, and that translates over to the calendar, and you just add everything, and it marks it out when it's done. It tells you the times. It's all color coded, so you know where it needs to be, what you need to do, and this is a really good skill, or a really good resource to use, because it's already there. Oh, there it is. Week, month agenda right here. Okay, so the next one is, so this is in your email, and it's the same way. It tells you the times and the days, and it has the planned out events, and it tells you exactly when they are and when you have to go to them, and you can add things anytime you need to. And this is a really good resource for anyone as a Lindenwood student, because I mean, you have it. It's given free to you. Another thing is just using Word or Publisher or PowerPoint for the list. This is not my picture. I found one because I personally don't use this, but they set dates. They tell you when it's short term, personal, long term. They just put it out there, so it's not just in their head. So let's take a break from that, and I just want to talk to you guys about short-term and long-term goal task, or short-term, long-term things that need to be done for a fraternity for me, or LSG, or I seen the Fashion Society, or Psychology Interest Club, or Sigma Alpha Iota. All of these things need to have short-term and long-term tasks or goals to even run. So what are some things that you think that you could plan before and get through, like with the tasks that or with the resources that I showed you? What are some things that would have ran better if you used those resources? Jack, I haven't heard from you.
Eddie, you're asking good questions, man. I'm trying to think of things to say, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I just like fraternity life, we use, I know with Fidel, we use Canvas and all those resources for membership. We do like membership grade stuff, just to organize stuff within our fraternity. Those have been some good resources. We also do like Outlook calendar stuff with each other. So using those things, like you mentioned, have been really key to kind of making our fraternity more organized on a weekly basis. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Even as the LSG advisors, do you guys think that using these resources, it would help that like LSG in general, or just help run events more efficiently?
Absolutely. I think, you've given a lot of options for people. And I think that you made it very clear that, it really is just about finding your own groove in things. Maybe the to-do list is, the little sticky notes that you showed is better than Canvas for some people, or Outlook 365. So really just giving people the tools to be successful, and really just managing it based on what they think works best for them in their personal work schedule. I think that's great.
Yeah, for sure. So to reiterate what I just said, pretty much, we have these as students, we have these as being a part of the university, and I know I don't think that I've put them in such a more sophisticated way, but just talking about them as a student, because I am just a student. And I think that's what leadership series 2.0 is. It's just getting a student's perspective. So yes, I made this PowerPoint, but these are just things that I've used, or skills that I've heard of. So using Canvas is something that I use every day. I actually print out the agenda, and when I do things, I mark them out so I can have hands-on feeling. Of course, I use my phone's calendar, and I have my planner. I don't have it with me. Sorry, I would show you. I just write things down. I showed Karen last week. It's just a big mess of tasks to do, and then I put it into my calendar. And just having things or resources that you can use, it's not going to fit everyone's organization. Just do it the best for you, and find the one that fits the best for you. Now, once you've built that up and created that habit, there are things that can really hurt that. I want to say that was Emily said that she has done these things and she's fell off because procrastination, just sat on your shoulders, and that's gonna happen. But there's some things that really hurt. So like procrastination, multitasking. So when you are doing a task, or you have something scheduled for an allotted amount of time, that should be the only thing you do for that time, or you are going to lose the organization that you have built for yourself. Or long unneeded breaks. So I spoke about being on TikTok for 3-4 hours. Those are breaks that I did not need to do, and then I just lose the motivation. Or of course, procrastination, like I said about Emily. And the most important thing that I want to bring up here is the stress of a college student. That is something that we all have, because we all have papers that are due, or we all have discussion questions that we have to write, and just having all of those things, it is stressful. But I just want to point out before I am done, stress is inevitable, but don't let it take over. Don't let it put procrastination into your life. If you stay organized, it's gonna relieve that stress a little bit, and it's gonna make it a little bit easier to move through college. So the last thing, I've asked you guys questions, and you guys have given me great answers. This is the time for you guys to ask me questions. And before we do, I want to say this. The real challenge is to combine strong leadership and strong management. So strong management is strong organization, and use each to balance each other. So have that leadership, but also, have that management to help keep things in line, and to keep the year going, and the events going. So thank you guys for listening to me. I know it was only half an hour, but I couldn't really think of anything else besides, keeping that planning, and or keeping planning and having that schedule, and just using the resources that are given to you. But do you guys have any questions for me?
I have a question.
Okay.
So I don't know if this has happened to anyone else, but ever since COVID hit, I feel like my attention span has really gotten bad, especially with online classes. It's like, why don't I just, scroll through some TikToks while he's starting? And it's like, oh, it's like halfway through the class. Did I even learn anything? Debatable. So I was wondering if you had any ways that you found to combat this, or if anyone else has found any ways.
So I actually seen this today in my boss's office. So I'm the administrative assistant here at School of Humanities. So I am the assistant to the deans and the assistant dean and associate dean. And I was talking with the associate dean, and they had their phone completely across the room. They have meetings all day. They have emails they have to check. And if they have that phone right next to them, and there's always these notifications, then you're going to get distracted. So put it on the charger, charge it for that class time. And then when you're done, reward yourself with a little bit of a break and watch those TikToks. I know Jack, he completely just turns off his notifications. So if you have to get a hold of him, you have to FaceTime him, because
That's very true, Eddie.
he doesn't like social media. He doesn't like those distractions. So just move it away from you and focus on one thing. Like I said, multitasking is how procrastination and how your organization is hurt. Stick to one thing at a time, and it'll allow you to move smoother.
Edward, I have another tip with notifications and stuff. I'm not sure if anyone on this call has an Apple Watch, but there is actually a setting on your Apple Watch that's school mode that will turn off all your notifications for however long you plan on studying. So your notifications will come back on on that timer.
Oh, that's really cool. I did not know that, but I probably should start wearing my Apple Watch. I spent way too much money for it to sit on my desk. And that helps a lot. It tracks the time that you are studying, and when you're in school, if you have it on school mode, it takes away that distraction. Does anyone else have anything before we go to Karen for the giveaway? So if no one does, I want to explain the giveaway. So last week before our meeting, mine and Karen's, I was like, I'm talking about all of these organization skills, but how can we put that back into the people that I have helped with? So I asked her if I could get you guys some planners and some really nice pens to have a physical planner, and to have something that you guys can keep track of and to keep with you. So this is for the years of 2021 and 2022. And you just write down your stuff, just jot it down. It doesn't have to be neat, it's yours. As long as you can read it, then it's helping you. So she is going to put your guys' names into a wheel, and she's going to spin it. So I'm going to stop my sharing now, Karen.
Awesome. So I just want to wrap things up really quickly so that I can then stop the recording. But just everyone, if you can, in the chat box, just congratulate Edward for an amazing presentation. I know I learned some things. I think he did an amazing job of facilitating. It was awesome engaging with all of you all, and thank you all for all the questions that you had. So yeah, let's just give Edward his flowers first and foremost, and really thank him for being here this afternoon.